and welcome to the first day of class. I wish it was an actual classroom where I could see you face to face, say hello, at least have a few greetings that we exchange. Unfortunately, this is an online class, and my official introduction and my official greetings are done to a computer screen. So I'll try to make the best of it. I will try to bring some energy into this little tutorial. I think it's important when you begin a class for you to know what exactly you are getting yourself into. So this is going to be my introduction of my course syllabus. Basically, think of it like this. The course syllabus is the contract for the class. You have to know what you're signing up for, right? So every single class, they have their own list of rules and policies, and it's important as a student that's enrolling to know what is this contract that you're agreeing to. So that's exactly what a syllabus is. It gives you an idea of what I expect, what the rules are that you must follow, and also it kind of gives you just an overview of what we are going to do throughout this term. So without any further ado, let me just give you a quick introduction of myself. My name is Hasmik. It's not an easy name to say, especially if you're not Armenian. So feel free to call me Jasmine. That is just the translation of my name. A lot of my students, they call me Miss B or Mrs. B, whatever you want. So, as long as you're comfortable addressing me and you're not just like, hey, you, then I'm perfectly okay with whatever you choose to call me. Up here, I have included my email address. This is my GCC email, but I do want to let you guys know that I would prefer if you contacted me via Canvas. I showed you in the introductory tutorial for our class website how you can send me a message through Canvas. So if you have not watched that, please go ahead and watch that. But you could email me, with my GCC email as well. It's just Canvas filters each student into its corresponding section number for the course. So it just becomes easier for me. And honestly, that's the only reason why I want you to email me through Canvas, because it's easy for me. I do have office hours, so I put a link for you guys, but I will be including this link in all of our weekly modules. But I think it's good to maybe mark this in your calendar if you do have some kind of a planner, or maybe you're using your phone's calendar as like an alert or a reminder. Every Friday from 1 to 2 p.m., I will be holding office hours. So you do not need an appointment. Feel free to drive by. Please don't drive by. You can stop by. Feel free to stop by. You just need to include this passcode winter22 to come into my office hour via Zoom. And then this is the link to our class website in case you're lazy and you just want to go click and go straight to our Canvas page. Now, I think it would be incredibly boring if I sat down and read all of this out loud to you guys. It includes the course description, the objectives, what English 102 is, what you're expected to learn in a class like this. In an overview, I just want to say that English 102 is considered an advanced composition course, and basically it includes literary analysis. We do critical thinking and literary analysis. We use literature to do so in a class like this. Like for example, English 104, we use current events. 102, we use literature. So we have different genres that we use. For example, fiction, that's what we're starting off with, drama, poetry, and then we have a novel unit, which is another extension of the fiction unit. So please make sure you do read this on your own. They are the exit standards for our class. It's basically like the promise that by the end of the session, you're supposed to learn these things in the class. What are you supposed to buy as far as the book is concerned? So here's what I did, just to make it easier for you. You're required to read 2 books, The first one is an anthology. It's kind of like a book that has all of the short stories in there. It has all of these poems in there. But honestly, do you need to buy it? No. Because, let me tell you why. I found every single story online. And then what I did is I took the time to include the links to these stories in our Canvas page just to make it easier for you and to save a few bucks. So you do not need to buy this book, Backpack Literature, unless you want to, unless it's more convenient for you to have a hard copy. Same thing with Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale. I found an online version. And again, you know, if it were me, I would want to have the hard copy just because I like to have a book in my hands as I'm reading. It's easier for me to take notes. It's easier for me to like mark the book and know where I'm at. And I don't know, I just learn better. Maybe I'm a little old school, that's why. I just like the hard copies of the books, but it's online and it's free if you do not want to spend the money. So I did put the links for both books. You know, it's like an Amazon link that you can purchase the books, but you do not need to purchase the books. I have found all of the stories online. Okay, so attendance is important to discuss. So let's take a moment and talk about attendance. This is the rule for online classes. So DE is basically the acronym for distance education. And for distance education learning, attendance works a bit differently. So let me explain how it works. Typically, you know, in a face-to-face class, you come to the classroom, right? And you the instructor takes roll, and every time you come to the class, the instructor takes roll. There's certain participation points. You have to hand in your assignments, you get them back, they're graded. So basically, your attendance is marked by the student being physically present in the classroom. Well, it's kind of hard to assess that in a class like this because how do I know when you're physically present? There's a few ways that we monitor attendance. So the first way, this is when you are a new student to an online class. The first way is to do the check-in assignment. This is you checking in. Anytime you have an appointment, let's say you have a doctor's appointment, there's always that check-in page, right? You have to fill it out, your name, the time that you came, what time your appointment is. You're basically, you know, notifying whoever works in the office, hey, I'm here, you know. Same thing on the first day of class, you know, the instructor takes roll and you're like, here, I'm here. And so this is what the check-in assignment is meant to do. All you have to do is complete it and you will receive the points for it and you will keep your seat in the class. Now, if you do not do the check-in by Thursday, January 13, you actually get dropped from the class. It's kind of like a no-show. So the student did not come to class, and the other students that are on the wait list, they have a chance to add. I do take that policy seriously because at the moment I have like 5 students who are waiting for me to notify them, just to let them know if there's room in the class. So just letting you know that there are students waiting. So if you decide you don't want to be in the class, it's better to drop it earlier rather than later. And now also for attendance, how do I know if you're present and, you know, like you're qualified to pass the class? Well, DE classes, and this is going to be different for every single class, they are evaluated for 2 weeks worth of assignments. So basically, if you miss more than 2 weeks worth of assignments, you're dropped from the class, or you're in danger of failing the class. So what does that mean? What does 2 weeks worth of assignments mean when you're in a class that's only 5 weeks, but it's a condensed class that includes an entire semester, which is 15 weeks? So 2 weeks would be 5 to 10 assignments. Just so you guys know, my in-class work is always on a point system. I usually do 5 points for one assignment. 10 points would be it would be worth 2 assignments. 15 points, it would be worth 3 assignments. I think you guys get the pattern. So what that means is if you happen to miss 5 assignments, that's 5 5-point assignments. If you miss a 10-point assignment, you're already missing 2 assignments. Once you reach the 5 mark, you're already in danger of failing. Once you reach the 10 mark, you're probably going to fail the class. So I will monitor the attendance very carefully and then send students some messages. Most of the time, students already know when they're not doing well in the class. And this is the part where, let me just, kind of give you a little nudge. This is good information to include in your calendar and to set reminders for yourself. So first date that you need to write down is Monday, January 18. This is the census date. So if you happen to be a student, maybe you're watching this after you added the class late. So, winter session begins Monday. Let's say you add the class on Wednesday and you're just barely watching this tutorial. Well, you have until Monday, January 18, if you're a new student that just added the class, to finish the check-in assignment. Okay, so I will personally include that as your deadline if you are a student that added late. If you are a regular student, you're already enrolled in the course, you have until this coming Thursday, which is January 13, to do the check-in assignment. So it's actually 2 dates. If you're a normally enrolled student, Thursday, January 13 is the deadline to do the check-in. And if you are a student that added late, then it's Monday, January 18 to do the check-in. Also, if you decided, like you came into the class and you're like, oh, this is just, it's a struggle, I have too much going on, I read the welcome letter, I read the syllabus, I watched these tutorials, I just do not have the time to devote to this class, then it's a good idea for you to drop the class by Friday, January 14. Why Friday? Because you will not get a W on your record if you drop by that date, and also you qualify for a full refund. Now, if later on, some people getting an A in the class is very important to them, it's top priority, and if they see that they're not doing well in the course and they're like, man, I should have taken this during a regular semester, I regret taking it in a winter session. Sometimes, students have those regrets. Well, then it's important to know that you can drop the class with a W by Friday, January 28. And that's a lot of weeks. You still have some time to figure out how you feel about the class, what the workload is like, if you can handle it. And if you can't, then of course you can drop by that date. And the last date that I would like you guys to know is you can actually petition for this class to be graded as a pass or no pass instead of an actual graded class. You have until Tuesday, January 18 to do that. Just in case you're interested in these dates, you should definitely mark your calendar. Now, some policies that are important to talk about. Plagiarism, it's not acceptable at all in a class like this. I've had a few cases last semester. It's always very difficult for me to deal with cases of plagiarism just because on one hand, I feel very betrayed. It's such a betrayal. And then on the other hand, I also feel sorry for a student because if I report each case of plagiarism, it actually goes into your permanent academic record. Please don't put me in that position. I don't want to mess up your academic career at all. So do not plagiarize. Plagiarism is so tempting in an online class, but if you get caught once, you lose my trust, and I'm not really going to bump you up if your grade is borderline. I only bump up borderline grades if the student has done work that is impressive to me in some way. Maybe they did some extra credit, maybe they tried hard, maybe they did a revision. I don't know, something about the participation that the student has devoted to the class is unique in some way. Those are the students that I bump up. I don't bump up students that plagiarize. That's not okay with me. So plagiarism, if you're not sure what it is, if you're kind of unclear about it, you can click on the link and discover what GCC's Code of Conduct is. I also think it's important to know that if you are a student that has a learning disability, the school does have accommodations for these students. So there's a phone number you can use to find out, if you qualify to be part of this program. There's a link to the website as well. Some of the really cool accommodations is just extended exam time, and who doesn't like that? So if you do maybe qualify for something like that, there's paperwork that is sent out to me, I sign it, and then we're all good. I don't accept late work, you guys. I apologize for that. We do not have time in a winter session. So I think it's important for me to let you know that as soon as the deadline hits, that's it. If you miss a deadline, the points are going to be 0. So I just don't have time. I do not have the time. In a winter session, I cannot. Maybe if it were a regular semester and there was a personal emergency, it would be different. But in a condensed session like this, it's so much work. I just cannot give late work, what am I trying to say? Sorry, I blanked out totally. I cannot give extensions for late work to any student. I also included a link to our Learning Center. Now, check it out. This is going to be valuable for some of you. So if you are interested in earning extra credit in this class, you might want to pay attention. So I put a link to the Learning Center workshops that are taught in GCC, and you can actually attend 5 of these workshops during the winter session, and for each workshop, you can earn 5 points. So if you think about it, 5 workshops, 5 points, that's a total of 25 in-class points. So let me just tell you guys, let's say, as the semester is going by, you missed a couple of assignments. Sorry, I said semester, I mean session, winter session. You missed a couple of assignments, let's say. You added late, you couldn't make the deadline, whatever it is. You missed some of those assignments. Well, you can actually make it up by doing these Learning Center workshops. Last semester, I had a student who had over 100% in their in-class grade. That's 30% of their grade, just because of all the extra credit. So it does not hurt you. It only helps you. I do recommend it, especially if you have a little bit of extra time on your hands. Now, GCC does their grading as solid grades. We do not do pluses and minuses. So 90% to 100 is your A. If that's what you're aiming for, then it's good to know that that's how to earn an A. And then the coursework is graded according to a percentage system. I did show you guys how you can access your grade in my Canvas, the website tutorial that I made for you, but it's still good to know that this is going to be all of the work that you're going to do in class and how it's going to be graded according to the percentage. Now, last thing, if you're not a technology person or you just don't really understand Canvas, you can always contact tech support. Something weird is happening, your page just keeps freezing, your assignment is not uploading. Instead of contacting me, you need to contact them. They are available 24 hours. So they're available in different ways. You can actually have an online chat with them. You can talk to them on the phone, depending on what kind of service you want and whatever makes you more comfortable. So I put the phone number there. And I also put the link so you can just open up the page and take a look at it. Now, I am required to include a class schedule, but instead of looking at this, you should only look at this page for the deadlines. So basically, when certain assignments are due. See, I put them in bold so that you could see the due dates for each assignment. But the breakdown that gives you more specifics of what to do, on a daily basis, that is going to be available on Canvas in my announcements. Now, one last thing, I have all these handouts that I attach to my syllabus just because, you're coming from English 101 and you might either have forgotten or maybe you didn't learn some of this stuff. So these handouts are very, very helpful so that it could jog your memory of what you are supposed to know when you take a class like this. So first of all, you need to know what the difference between a paraphrase and a quotation is. And I have the breakdown here. You need to know that when you are quoting, you do need to have a lead-in phrase. And here are some lead-in phrases for you here. You need to know how to analyze quotations that you're using. When you write essays, analysis is so important. So this page gives you a list of how you can analyze quotations in meaningful ways that, will get your audience to be, thinking on a deeper level about what it is you're trying to say. You also need to know how to use evidence, like how do you integrate this evidence into your work. So all of these handouts, I hope, are going to be helpful for you. I also put on page 8 of our syllabus, these are just a bunch of comment codes in case I decide to comment on your grammar, which I don't do that much in a class like this, but in case I do, sometimes I get lazy and I just use comment codes instead of writing it out. So this is what the codes mean. And then that would make it an 8-page syllabus. And that would be it for our course syllabus. Let me just make myself a little bit bigger. All right, so that's it, you guys. I hope the syllabus is understandable. If there's any part of it that you think is a little bit confusing, feel free to reach out to me. And once again, welcome to the first day of class.